Hi, and welcome to Real Estate with Lou the Shoe. Today's topic, we're going to talk about steps 7 and 8 of the home buying process. In steps 1 and 2, we talked to you about if buying a home is right for you and getting pre-approved. In steps 3 and 4, we talked about working with a real estate agent and getting your offer, putting an offer in on the property, getting one accepted. In steps 5 and 6, we talked about inspections, and also we talked about the appraisal and the underwriting portion of the transaction. Now in steps 7 and 8, we're going to be talking about the final walkthrough and closing day, or going to the closing table. Also, at the end of this video, I'm going to give you a couple other just few tips for first-time home buyers that I didn't really talk about during this process. So just make sure you watch the end of the video to get those extra tips. But before we get into today's video, I did want to talk to you guys real quick about this webinar I'm going to be hosting on May 1st. On this webinar, I have an attorney, a lender, and an inspector. We're all going to be talking real quick about the home buying process and what to expect. And that's what all these videos are leading up to. So I will put the link to register for this webinar in the description. Everybody that signs up and attends gets $1,000 of free closing cost credit, literally just for going and signing up for the webinar. So I'm going to strongly encourage you guys to go. We're also going to be raffling off a $100 Home Depot gift card to everybody that shows up. So it is going to be something that you're not going to want to miss. It's going to be a lot of fun, and I hope that you guys pick up some great information from it. So now let's get back to today's video. So in step 7 of the home buying process is going to be the final walkthrough. So what's going to happen is that after the inspection and after the appraisal is done, your realtor is then going to make an appointment to have the final walkthrough the day of closing. During the final walkthrough, you're going to look for a few different things. Number one, you're going to make sure that everything that you've agreed on during the transaction has been done, meaning all work had been done, all the plumbing, electrical, all the painting, whatever you guys agreed upon after the inspection was done. You just want to make sure that that stuff had been done. You also want to make sure that there's no damage done to the property. You want to make sure that the doors, the windows, everything works, all the faucets inside the property, the sink, there's no plumbing leaks. You just want to make sure that everything is exactly how you envisioned it, and make sure that everything is completely what you agreed upon. And then last thing you do want to make sure is that there is no clutter left behind by the seller, unless it was obviously negotiated. Make sure that there's no big heaps of laundry, no mattresses that's kind of left aside, no dressers that you didn't agree that you're going to take care of. If there are some stuff that are left and you either want them or you don't really care to get rid of them, great, awesome. You just got a couple extra pieces of property, or whatever. So that is something that you're going to be just going through during the walkthrough, making sure that everything is tip-top shape and as you expected or imagined it. So once step 7 is done, once you go through the walkthrough and everything is exactly how you imagined it, the next step is going to be going to the closing table. So a couple things quickly about the closing table that you're going to want to bring. Number one, you're going to want to bring your license. You're going to want to bring your checkbook. The attorney will or should, they're going to tell you the exact amount that you're going to bring on a certified bank check. So you will want to go to the bank either the day before or the morning of to get that certified bank check of that exact amount. And then make sure you ask the attorney and who it's made out to in detail. You got to make sure that it's exactly the way that they had told you to. So that's one question I get a lot, is what to bring to the closing table. The next question I get a lot is who to bring to the closing table. My answer is kind of always the same. You don't want to bring anybody that doesn't really have a stake in the transaction. If you are the sole owner of the property and your name's on the mortgage and that's it, I probably recommend just going yourself. It's going to be some great experience for you. But if you do feel comfortable with having a parent there, that is not unheard of at all. And there are a lot of people that want to have either their mom or dad or sister or someone that knows a little bit more, just to kind of make sure that everything falls in line and you're asking the appropriate questions. And again, at the closing table, this is your last chance to ask any questions about the mortgage, about contingencies. You can ask the attorney, what to do after you close on the property. You just want to make sure that you ask any and all questions, so that way you are the best informed that you possibly can be. You want to make sure that all the documents is exactly what you agreed upon with the lender, with the attorney, with the closing documents, closing costs. You want to make sure that everything is exactly how you imagined it. If something is wrong, then this is the time to bring that up. Some common things that you will pay for at closing are, number one, the down payment, number two, the escrow funds. So if you have to pay additional insurance or taxes on the property, the lender fees, the attorney fees. So it's not uncommon to pay these things at closing. That's usually why they have you bring the bank certified check for that exact amount. All right, congratulations. You now own your first home. And don't forget to invite me to your housewarming party. I'll be sure to bring a bottle of champagne. And now, as promised, here are some bonus tips. So the day of closing, you do want to make sure that you change out your key locks. Something that happens all the time is people have secondary keys, and you just want to make sure that your home doesn't fall into the wrong hands or fall into a burglary. So that's going to be bonus tip number one. Number two is going to be start a home maintenance list or a recurring schedule in, say, like your phone. You just want to make sure that you're checking your smoke detectors every 6 months to a year. So you want to make sure that you're mowing the grass every year. You want to make sure that you're planting and doing your spring cleaning. So having a nice reoccurring schedule in your phone, especially when you have those tasks or those reminders in there, is definitely very, very helpful. Another thing that you're going to want to do is you're going to want to tell your work, your phone company, your cable company, you're going to want to tell the schools, the newspaper subscriptions, etc. You want to make sure that you tell the town that you are the new owner of the property. Tell everybody, tell all your friends and family, and make sure that everybody knows that you move addresses and this is your new address. Another tip is going to be get an energy audit. So in some areas, you can actually get a free energy audit, and in some places, they'll actually re-insulate the property for free for you, which is awesome. And then you can also get like free light bulbs and stuff that are actually supposed to be more energy efficient. Little things like that, like the energy audit. I know in Massachusetts, they have something called Mass Save, and a lot of different towns will have free energy audits for those homeowners as well. And last but not least, you want to introduce yourself to your neighbors. And it's very, very simple. You just want to make sure that they don't call the cops on you the first time that you throw a party or the first time that you have a housewarming party with Lou the Shoe over there. Sometimes it can get a little crazy with champagne, And there you have it. That is the complete guide, step-by-step process of purchasing your first home. So I hope you guys are as excited as I am. And please, again, register for this webinar so that way you can get some money off your first closing. That's all. Thank you. Bye.